If you're new to trading, one of the things that traders really look for are what are called swing or pivot points. And I'll take a screenshot of this. And again, if you guys want to do completely automated, that's great. But if you're going to trade nSights with me and you're going to learn how to trade, these are the things that you need to know. And even if you do completely automated, I would suggest that you hang around long enough that you learn some of these things that I'm teaching, because most people pay 5, 10,000 plus, right? Just to learn things like what I'm teaching you. And then most people that teach those $5,000 to $10,000 classes don't have a clue in terms of some of the stuff I'm teaching you guys, right? They do basic indicators, and they don't have the ability. Now, there are some instructors out there that teach volume spread analysis and other things that are very, very valuable. I don't want to not say that, but for the most part, no. I think they just put together classes and charge lots of money. So I would suggest to hang out and learn, right? Swing points, I want you guys to think of, and I'll take a screenshot of this, and I think this will give us the starting point that we're going to need. When I'm looking at, when I think of a swing, I think of kids going up and down a swing, back and forth, right? That's a swing, right? And so when we think of that, let's think of the swing point. And what I'm looking for is things that look like that, right? Look like that, look like that. Now there's rules around these, and we'll talk about these. And there's the reverse for the kids that used to think they could go all the way around the swing, right? Go up and over the bar. Did anybody ever do that in Lib? I don't know. We think of the top, okay? The reverse of that, okay? And there's numbers of these, and we'll define the rules to this so that you guys understand these, okay? So what makes a swing point, okay? Obviously a low point or a high point followed by a certain number of candles on the left side of that point and a certain number of candles on the right side of that point. Most indicators start with 5 on the left, 5 on the right. What does that mean? I have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles on the left that are higher than this point for what's called a swing low. And I have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles on the right that are higher than this point to create a swing low. This one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would qualify. This one here may not. Let's see if it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 may qualify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That may qualify, but very, very shaky. Okay. Same over here. I'm looking for the reverse of that. 5 on the left that are below it, 5 on the right that are below this point to create a swing high. So I'm looking at swing lows and swing highs. Now, there's indicators, and we're adding what's called Pine Script, which is Trading Views programming language. You can see that down here. Pine Editor is called Pine Script, and we're going to add some of the indicators that allow us to automatically identify the swing points like this here, right? So the software will do it for you. And you can see here when I click on this gear, it says pivots to the left, pivots to the right. Now that's not a dance. It sounds like a dance, but it's not a dance. I can change this number to like, say, let's go see all of the little lines. The red is the hot top, the greens are the bottom pivots. But watch what happens when I change this to like 25 and 25. So it has to have 25 on each side. So now got a lot less lines, right? Because it takes a lot more commitment to create that swing point. And the swing points are very, very important because they're the base element or the bottom or top of a lot of barriers that we trade and that we want to see. So lots of times you'll see me though, when I say, okay, I know there's a swing point here, but I want to know where were the bodies of that. Okay, so lots of times I use the bodies, even though technically the tip is the swing high, and it's important to know when we close above a highest high here. When we close above, that really is a signal to traders that we have enough momentum to continue up. When we close just around that level and we can see the pressure trying to hold, sometimes that's a good signal that we're going to break the high. Okay. But you'll see me draw them on the bodies, or sometimes you'll see me draw them where I do a box and I'll put a box on the high and the body because I really want to know this range like this. And then it really gives me a good idea what's going on. And I would do the same down here. That's what I'm doing. I'm really focusing on those swing points to really be able to tell what's going on. So years ago, I developed what Brendan calls my boxes. And I used to drive him crazy with my boxes, and I don't know if he's on this morning, but I used to drive him absolutely nuts with my boxes. But I use boxes, and I'm going to show you guys how I do this. And the swing points are the key to that. And I'm gonna go back to swing points. I'm going to go back to 5 and 5. So you can watch me do this and you can understand what I'm doing. And I do this, what I'm getting ready to show you guys. To me, this tells me when buyers lose control or when sellers lose control for longer term moves. So it tells me when I'm in buying pressure, or it tells me when I'm in selling pressure, and when potentially those two things are shifting. So when are the bulls in control or when are the bears in control? Okay, is really kind of what we're defining. And I'm going to start down here let's see here. Let's start here. I'm going to start with this down move and transition to this up move. And let's see if we can tell when the bulls take over, okay, in this up move. We can see it. It's obvious that it happened, but when was it really evident to the market that this potentially was going to happen? All right, I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to draw 2 boxes here. And I'm going to color code these so you guys can tell what's going on. Okay, I'm going to do a red border with a pink interior, and I want okay, that's going to be my down box, and I'm going to create an up box here that I'm going to use also. And I'm going to make this a nice blue border with let's do a green interior. Okay, so they're pretty different, easy to tell apart. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my highest point, my swing high, and I'm going to find the next swing low that's related to this. So I follow this down. And where did it create a swing low? Well, the next one is right here. This is my high. This is my low. So I'm going to take my red box and I'm going to say, this is what is in control. At the moment that swing low happened, if this is the only box I had for the up pressure to actually take place, I would have had to close above this box, okay? Okay, or at that point for the up to take over. But the market continued to go down. So what happens is I have to wait for something to close either below this box or above this box for me to know that the market is still shifting pressure either down or shifting pressure up. That's all we're trying to define. Shifting pressure down or shifting pressure up. Okay, so obviously we closed below right there. So I'm going to copy this box, and now my zone, my down zone, shifts to this swing high and this swing low. Why does it do that? Let's slide this over. Okay, so here's my down. Here's a swing high that it made. It's the highest swing high, and you'll see why that's important. Until this closed, there was no swing point here for me to attach to. It's this one here. So it's this point and this point. So now my pressure has shifted to this box being in control of what's going on. Now I'm going to go to this box, and I'm going to lighten this up just a little bit so that you guys can stay focused on what's in control. And I'm going to darken this one a little bit so it's easy for your eye to see what I'm seeing. Okay, so this one is no longer in control. It existed at one point. It may have, you know, the pressure may have some relevance in the future, like over here, but that's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on when we shift from a down to an up. So this is in control now. Anything that happens inside this box is in control. I have to have all of these other little swing points don't mean anything in terms of control because we haven't closed above or below this box. Some people, well, I won't get into it. I don't want to confuse you guys. This to me is the controller, okay, until something changes. So let me copy this box here because I want the light color here. I'll move it down just for a second. And I'm going to duplicate. So now I'm going to put this one where this box is, okay? Because right there we close below it. And I'm going to take this box and move it, right? So now we can see the market closed below. So what does that mean? My box pressure now shifts. Where's my last swing point? Well, here's my last swing high, and here's my new swing low, okay? So now the box, the pressure shifts down, lower, and that keeps shifting down because it becomes important because I need to know, is the market going to close below this or is it going to close above? Look at that. We finally closed above this box. And so I'm going to actually duplicate this one. And I'm going to put this one right in this place, and I'm going to move this heavy red one out of the way. Okay, get it out of the way. So now we have finally shifted to up pressure. Okay, I'm going to make two boxes here. I'm going to make a light one because I don't want to do that every time to you guys. So let's make a light one. Okay. Okay. And we got a slightly darker one. All right. Got my controllers here. Okay. So at this point, okay, I have I'm going reverse because from this swing low, I closed above the box. This is my low point. Okay. And as soon as my swing high is created, that becomes my up, right? Now I have switched pressure from down to up, okay, right there. And this is what's in control. These things have to close below to kind of shift that down. Now the market could turn right around, come down and put the downs back in control. Lots of times, most of the time, it doesn't, right? Because when it able to close out of one of these boxes, that pressure has begun to shift. And so I see right here that I've shifted up, right? And I'm gonna then take this box. You'll notice every once in a while, okay, so we finally closed above it right there, created a swing high, and this is a swing low. And the trades really close almost right on this. It's slightly below. I really like a solid close below before I really shift directions. But at this point, I would say that we have these two things potentially fighting for control because this one's slightly closed below it. So I'm going to watch if there's a second candle that closes below. Then I'm going to pay attention. This really would have been at this point, as soon as this swing low happened. So I have this high and I'm looking for a close below this one, or is this going to stay in control? Well, obviously this stayed in control. This really was a very minor close below. And again, this is kind of the art of trading, that you kind of got to then put both of these in place and say, okay, oh, hang on. That was really a kind of a false close. So that didn't happen. This is what's in power. We closed above that. And this then becomes our point of control. And this is what I'm watching. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, get very technical about this, which I usually do, that's kind of my default, is this did create a swing point that didn't follow through right here. And this is the new swing high. So I really should then say, okay, this kind of did shift the pressure for me from here to here. And this is what's in control. Until I close above or below this, this really has shown that this is the control zone for me to trade. And I finally close above it over here. So I can continue to follow these all the way up. Again, I'm going to, all right, I'm going to kind of get rid of the dark box because it's getting kind of tedious to move that around. And I'll just use light boxes here now, because you guys can visually see what I'm talking about at this point. So I closed above. Now I've got my swing low and my swing high. So that creates a new box here. Okay. And now this is in control. Anything that closes above this or below this is in control. I'm channeling in between. Nothing closes above until here. And this is my last swing point right there. And this is my swing point high. And I control that like this. And my swing point goes here. Again, nothing closes below, so I'm holding up pressure. I can feel confident that the market is trying to hold up pressure. Here's my last swing point, my new swing point. And this is so important, guys, in terms of following the intention of the market to know who's in control and who's doing what, right? So that you can potentially make more profit. Okay. Finally closed above here. Okay, my swing point shifts. And you can see all of the swing points in between this area, but they're not important, right? The last one here, this one and this one are the ones important. So all of these are just kind of noise, just happening, right? So if I had closed below this box, we were going down. We didn't. We closed above, creating a new swing point from here to here, okay? From this point to this point, okay? Now, this creates kind of an interesting process. This closed above, but it didn't create a new swing point. I've got to wait for a swing point with a close above, which is here, or this is going to stay in control for the up pressure, which we could see the market came right back to it here. But we're going to switch to a down pressure because I did finally create a swing low and a swing high. So that now, because this is the one that closed above the box with a swing point, it allows me to move my box up, and it allows me to focus on that swing high. So for the market to continue to go up, I got to close above this. Or for the market to go down, I need to close below it. Well, I slightly closed below it here, very slightly. I still want, again, like I did before, I want to honor that, but it's such a minor close, I really want to not get carried away. I want to focus on if something closes below, again, now what created that point, the swing low and the swing high for that one is that one right there. I want to attach this to that swing high and this to that swing low right there. And as soon as I close below it, I have now shifted pressure down. And my down pressure that is in control right now is this point, this high right here. This is the current market to this swing low. So until something closes above or below this box, we are in slight down pressure. Okay, the overall up pressure, so is this here, kind of in that zone, but I cannot lose track that the market was able to switch from up pressure to temporary down pressure. And the only way for me to be confident that we have potential to go higher is to close above this box. These things are not relevant in terms of direction, because this is the directional control. If I close below it, then I'm going to set up red boxes going down until I get a green box to switch that pressure and going up. This system allows me to stay very clear on where I believe the bulls and bears are in terms of what the pressure is doing and what my expectations are in terms of the market. I can do this with any coin. I like the 1 hour time frame for this because it gives enough data to make sense of the market. If I'm trading coins that don't have any fees, like any buy or sell fees, very small buy or sell fees, I could go to a shorter time and I could be trying to take 2-3% profits. For the coins that have those fees that are slightly higher, really want the larger time frames so that I can make the bigger moves with the coin. So hopefully this helped. I would watch this video a number of times to see if you can map out exactly what I'm mapping out. I can do this exact same thing without any of the lines. Just a little bit more difficult. I did it with the lines. I just got to go to what I think is a swing point and count the number of candles on the left or right, and then follow that down. And again, once I've got my boxes built, I leave them. I save them. I save the template, and I leave it on the chart. We will have those swing points on nSights as soon as they get the PineScript editor put into nSights. I've already given them the code for those swing points so that they can put those in. I've given them the code for a number of very special indicators in nSights that you guys will have, so that you can do these kind of things and have these kind of tools to be able to track. At one point, I had a boss program these boxes for Digi. Very, very hard to do. But ultimately, we may write the code where we can actually do these boxes in nSights. That'd be much further down the road. But it gives you guys a very clear visual on what I believe the market is trying to do. And again, this is my system. I don't know anybody else that does this. at least this way. But for me, it gives me a visual that allows me again to see the market for what it is.